All right, go. Okay, we're just making sure we're not overpowering things here. Thank you for coming out to our game here at Magic Elm for our home game here. This will be the Black Rose Riveters taking on from Lancaster, the Dutchland Rollers. This is the Blitz. Now, it sounds like the Blitz has quite a fan base in here today, so we'll go ahead and give that Black Rose introduction to our visiting team. This is, in orange, the Dutchland Rollers Blitz. Wearing number 000, White Wing Shove. Number 124, Min Diesel. Number 17, Chronic Youth. Wearing number 196, Fight Saber. We've got number 222, Bonsai. Wearing number 23, Hot Pocket. Number 24, Tempe of Doom. Wearing number 28, Terror Swift. We've got number 3, Parks and Rex. We're at number 402, Dr. Tank McCoy. We've got number 64, Claymore. Wearing number 8, Violet Hayes. Number 98, PR Nightmare. Wearing number 13, Repercussions. Wearing number 14, Vanna Fight. Give it up for our visiting team. This is the Dutchland Blitz coming to us from Lancaster, making that trek here, presumably on Route 30 here to Hanover, taking their lap around the track, getting warmed up for our game. A big thank you to all of the Dutchland fans who made the trek to be here as well. It sounds like we've got quite a few of you here in the crowd, so we're going to move on and to talk about our home team. This is the Black Rose Riveters. Skating this evening for the Riveters, number 179, Tsunami. Wearing number 1971, Snap Sabbath. Number 221, Killy Peppa. We've got number 29, Sparky. We're at number 25, Diablo. Number 36, it's Meanie. Number 408, Peroxide. We're at number 411, Beauty and a Beast. We're at number 77, Vex. We've got number 78, Windover. Number 812, Toxic Sugar. Wearing number 82, Starstruck. And number 970, Moxitocin. Those are our Black Rose Rollers Riveters here preparing to play today's game. Now, we are also doing the live feed, so for those who are on the live feed listening to our sound, thank you for joining us. I'm being told that we've got some viewers on our feed from as far away as, I believe, South Carolina. So we're going to go ahead and get set up for our first jam of the game. Give us a big thank you and a welcome and a shout out for our officials working this evening. We've got Goody, Cricket, Amelia Dearhart, Beans, Joy, Heath, Rage, Bacon, Killy Nelson, Lucille Speaking, Bad Ash, Dash, Ketchum, Gritton, Barrett, Olive, Bofo Shizzle, Phoenix, Caustic Daydream, and Biohazard, our wonderful dedicated officials, making sure this game can come through correctly. So hey, if this happens to be your first time watching roller derby, we will keep you up to speed with everything that's going on because this can be a fast and hard-hitting game. Each team is going to put 5 skaters out on the track. Now, 1 skater from each team is wearing a star on their helmet. Those are called the jammers, and the jammers are the skaters who score points on that whistle. Those jammers will fight their way through the pack. The first jammer to get out legally and inbounds will hear 2 whistles. That means they are the lead jammer, and then for every pass after that, they will score 1 point for each opposing skater that they pass. Coming out the jam for Dutchland on this jam, this is PR Nightmare taking on number 4 away from Black Rose. It's Peroxide. We do have our merchandise tables here set up for our home team. That's Black Rose. And we actually have some merch here for Dutchland as well. But hey, that whistle starts the jam, so we'll have to get that merchandise later on. Those jammers are fighting their way through the pack on that whistle. PR Nightmare coming out. PR is our lead jammer. Now, PR has completed that initial pass, and she is now working on her first scoring pass of the jam. She makes her way through. PR Nightmare has passed all 4 Black Rose blockers, meaning she gets those 4 points, and she calls off the jam. That is a scoreless jam for the Black Rose Riveters. 4 points on the board there for Dutchland. Tara Swift coming out with the Dutchland Jammer Star, taking number 411, Beauty and the Beast from the Riveters. That whistle brings us into our second jam. Looks like there were 2 whistles, so let's see what we've got here. I think we do have a lead declared. That is going to our very own Beauty and a Beast. She is the first jammer out. Now Beast coming in on her first scoring trip. She will score 1 point for each Dutchland blocker that she passes. Dutchland walling up with a tripod and a catch to the back of that track, putting a stop on Beast. Beast getting past a few of those blockers, making them some headway to the front of the pack, but Dutchland reforms their entire defense up front. And meanwhile, at the back, Black Rose holding up a tripod, keeping Terror Swift stuck at the very bottom of the pack. Looks like that might be Sparky bracing that tripod. Beast is out, puts 4 points on the board for Black Rose. Now these jams normally run for 2 minutes, but the lead jammer has the privilege of calling it off before that by placing their hands on their hips. Our first star pass of the game. Dr. Tank McCoy receiving that star pass, but that jam is called off. So Beast with a 6-point jam, scoreless jam for Dutchland. Number 970, Moxie Tosin out here at the jam for Black Rose. And jamming for Dutchland, this is number 8, Violet Hayes. Violet Hayes taken down by Windover. Windover will be called off on a penalty. Moxie Tosin, now our lead jammer for Black Rose, coming in on her first scoring trip. Sparky working some defense against Violet Hayes, forcing Violet to restart this pass. Moxie Tosin working her way to the top of that pack, trying to finish this scoring pass for Black Rose. Dutchland walling up with a tripod at the top against Moxie Tosin. Moxie Tosin breaks out. Jammer referee Olive Havoc holding up 4 points. Moxie now coming in on her second scoring trip. She's in. Colliding with some of the Dutchland blockers. She calls off that jam amidst that scoring pack. Only passes 3 Dutchland blockers. That's going to be a 7-point jam for Moxie Tosin. Scoreless jam for Dutchland. They're at 4, Black Rose 13. Black Rose putting number 179, Tsunami, to take on from Dutchland, number 23. This is Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket taken out of bounds by Toxic Sugar. 3 back-to-back leads here for Black Rose. Tsunami's in control. Our penalty box is clear, so this is a 5-on-5 jam. Hot Pocket coming in amidst a scoring pass. Signals the call off. Let's see what she's got. It's going to be 3 points and a call off. Looking at number 408, Peroxide, back out there, taking on PR Nightmare, taking us back to our first jam of the game. Now, these two jammers lined up a few moments ago, and that was a 4-0 jam in favor of Dutchland. So let's see what we got here. Oh, Peroxide breaks out of the pack, but look how close we are. We are jammer on jammer, and Peroxide sacrificing the jam, calling it off just as PR Nightmare catches up. Keeping that jam scoreless for both teams. Still at Black Rose 16, Dutchland 4. Penalty box is clear. Got some 5-on-5 derby going on here. This number 411 Beauty and the Beast out there versus Terror Swift. Beauty and the Beast off that whistle. Gets held up behind Dutchland's defense now. Is taken to the outside of the track. Beast recovers. Going in. Finds a hole. Working her way to the top of the pack. Meanie working some defense now against Terror Swift. Getting joined by Sparky. Looks like Snap Sabbath is bracing that tripod for Black Rose against Terror Swift. No lead jammer declared yet. Beast being held up behind Dutchland's defense at the top of the pack. Looks like Beast is taken down by Repercussions. Beast recovers on her skates, gets back up, not giving up the fight. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the pack here, Meanie still working that solid wall against Terror Swift. Now Snap Sabbath joining in, blocking with Meanie, keeping Terror Swift stuck at the bottom of the pack. Beast eventually breaking through, and she's our lead jammer. This is going to be 5 leads in a row for Black Rose. Beast now coming in on her first scoring trip. Beast is in that pack. Dutchland working their defense at the front of the pack against Beauty and a Beast. And it looks like Repercussions is bracing that defense against Beast. Now, Beast has 2 blockers to contend with. Terror Swift working the front of that. I'm sorry, no, that's Repercussions. And Min Diesel. Beauty and the Beast taken out of bounds and is being brought all the way back and forced to recycle. She will keep whatever points she has scored. And looks like that's 2 points expired. And a 3-0 jam there in favor of Black Rose. Coming out in this next jam for Dutchland, this number 402, this is Dr. Tank McCoy. Dr. Tank McCoy out there jamming up against Moxie Tosin. And Moxie is our lead jammer for Black Rose. Now Moxie coming in, making quick work of that first scoring pass, finds a hole on the inside. She's out with the first 4 points of the jam. Dr. Tank McCoy stuck behind Black Rose's defense. Moxie Tosin now working on a second scoring trip. She calls off the jam after a star pass. Going into an official review here called by Black Rose. This official review brought to us by Exquisite Bed Spa. We are now in the midst of this review with our officials discussing the claim that was made. Once there's more information available, we'll bring that to you and continue on with our game. Official review called by the Black Rose bench questioning whether or not the star pass that had occurred in that jam by Dutchland had occurred out of bounds, which is not legal by our rule set. When the officials got together and talked about the action in detail, what had occurred was that skater was fully inbounds, passed the star, and then went out of bounds shortly after. So because of that, no rules were broken, and they will have lost that review. We're going back to our game. Tsunami back out here to jam for Black Rose, taking on Hot Pocket. Working a pretty solid pack right off that whistle. Tsunami getting some defense by White Wing Shove. And it's another Black Rose lead now. Tsunami is our lead jammer and in control. Tsunami working the front of the pack, trying to get past Dutchland's defense. They've got a solid tripod, keeping Tsunami stuck within the pack. Snap Sabbath coming in, trying to rescue Tsunami. Tsunami takes a bit of a spill on her skates. Gets some last-minute blocking by Tempeh Doom, but Tsunami is out with 4 points. Another star pass from Dutchland going over the Tempeh of Doom, and that jam is called off. Looks like 3 more points here rolling in, making this a 7-point jam for Tsunami. Peroxide back out there to jam here for Black Rose. Peroxide taking number 98, PR Nightmare. Peroxide taking on all 4 Dutchland blockers as she tries to complete her initial pass. Sparky and Diablo taking PR Nightmare out of bounds to the inside. Now Diablo and Toxic Sugar working that defense. Diablo moving to the outside, blocking PR Nightmare. Both jammers now move to the back of the pack, and they have to restart this initial pass. Still no lead jammer, and just as we say that, Peroxide is out with a Black Rose lead. So Peroxide in full control of the jam now. Peroxide coming in on her first scoring pass. Dutchland walling up with a solid wall at the back of the pack, keeping Peroxide from scoring any points. Actually, well, looks like our referee is holding up a couple points. This is a 2-point jam for Peroxide. Peroxide's first time scoring in the game with those 2 points. Back to our game, though. This next jam brought to us by G&G Automotive. This is going to be Beauty and the Beast out there taking on number 28, Terror Swift. Still looking at a 5-on-5 jam. Thus far, pretty light on the penalties. But of course, now that we said that, that is going to change things. Beauty and the Beast attacking a tripod from the back. Starstruck coming in, fitting that hole out for Beauty and the Beast. 9 leads in a row for Black Rose. Beauty and the Beast sacrificing that jam, calling it off before Terror Swift can come and score any points. We did see Terror Swift gain some speed there, just as Beast calls it off. Looking at score now, Black Rose 35, Dutchland 4. Jamming for the first time today for Dutchland. This is number 124. This is Min Diesel out there to take on Moxitosin. It's a 3-4 pack here. Black Rose with the pack advantage now. Moxitosin breaking out with lead, making this 10 leads in a row for Black Rose. Now Moxie coming into the pack, taking on that tripod of Dutchland blockers at the back. Dutchland still down 1 blocker in the box. Moxitosin out with a 4-point pass completed. Moxie keeping that jam at a simple 4-0 and calling off the action. Starting this down, a 4-3 pack. We have Hot Pocket in the box here taking on. This is Tsunami, number 179. Tsunami breaking out. Tsunami is our lead jammer. Looks like Meanie starting that hit against Hot Pocket, but Hot Pocket finished out of bounds by Starstruck. Tsunami coming on her first scoring pass of the jam. White wing shove with number 3, Parks and Rex. Working the butt position, that tripod, keeping Tsunami stuck at the back. Sparky rejoins the game after a penalty. Hot Pocket coming out, completing an initial pass, but is unable to score. That jam was called off. Tsunami with 2 points. We are going to have number 98, PR Nightmare, out there for Dutchland, number 408, Peroxide, with that star for Black Rose. Back to some 5-on-5 derby, no penalties, nobody seated in the box. Peroxide breaking out, finding a hole on the inside. She's our lead jammer. PR Nightmare breaking out of the pack. Fight Saber taking Peroxide out of bounds, forcing Peroxide to restart that pass, but she calls off the jam. So another scoreless jam for both of our 2 teams. It's 41-4. I'm sorry, no, 2 more points rolling in for Black Rose. 43-4 now. Black Rose in the lead. Now Beauty and the Beast back out there. Beauty and the Beast is out there to take on. This is Terror Swift, number 28 from the Dutchland Blitz. Meanie working some defense along with Snap Sabbath and Starstruck in that tripod, keeping Terror Swift stock. Beast lost somewhere within that pack. She moves to the outside, getting some blocking by Tempe of Doom. Black Rose losing a blocker to the penalty box. That's going to thin things out a little bit for Terror Swift. Terror Swift still stuck behind that wall of Meanie and Starstruck. Beast taken all the way out and forced to recycle, being brought all the way back by number 000, White Wing Shove. Excellent defense by Dutchland, keeping Beauty and the Beast stuck on this initial pass. Starstruck bringing Terror Swift all the way back, forcing Terror to restart. So no lead jammer yet for this jam. Snap Sabbath bracing that tripod against Terror Swift. Beauty and the Beast taking on all 4 blockers from Dutchland. Tempeh Doom taking Snap Sabbath out of bounds, breaking up that wall. And it looks like we have our first jammer penalty of the game. Beauty and the Beast on her way to the penalty box. That will cost her the ability to get lead jammer for the jam. Chance of a power jam in the hands of Dutchland now with Terror Swift. Terror Swift, though, unfortunately, with that helmet cover being taken off, means there will be no lead jammer for the jam and no chance of a call-off. So incomplete scoring pass, but we do have a scoring pass completed here for Dutchland, a chance to score some much-needed points. That star being passed number 402, Dr. Tank McCoy. And Tank McCoy in the last couple seconds is in the packs. Let's see what they have scored. All right, 2 points on the board for the Dutchland Blitz. Now Dutchland Blitz now at 6 points. Scoreless jam for Black Rose. They were at 43 with about 10 minutes, 40 seconds left to our first half of the game. Moxitosin is back out there with the jammer star for Black Rose. Coming out to jam for the first time, this is 222 Bonsai from Dutchland. And Moxitosin with the jammer star for Black Rose. Moxie being stuck. Dutchland walling up their entire defensive strength against Moxitosin. Moxie finding a hole, though, on the outside. Comes around, takes a bit of a spill on her skates. Giving Dutchland enough time to reform 2 blockers at the top of the pack, keeping Moxie inside. Moxitosin breaking out with a Black Rose lead. Dutchland losing a blocker to a penalty. And Moxitosin coming in now. She's on her first scoring trip. Dutchland walling up at their entire defensive strength. 3 blockers turning into a tripod against Moxitosin. Windover coming in, trying to break up that tripod from Moxie, but Moxie is being effectively trapped behind that defense. There is a backblock call by our outside pack referee on Windover. That's going to take Black Rose down 1 blocker. Still looking at some very strong blocking by Dutchland with that tripod against Moxie, but Moxie does break out with those first 4 points of the jam. Moxitosin coming in on her second scoring trip. Some 2-on-1 blocking by Dutchland in the back of that pack against Moxie. Moxie comes in, falls backwards on her skates amidst this scoring pass. Dutchland with the star pass over to number 196. This is Fight Saber. Fight Saber unable to score. Moxie picking up 4 more points. So believe it or not, those 8 points is the highest scoring jam of the game so far with 8 minutes left to our first half of the first period. Our next jam brought to us by Coldwell Banker Realty. Featuring our very own number 00 D-Rex from Black Rose. Back to our game. PR Nightmare out there taking on Tsunami. Black Rose losing Chili Pepper to a multiplayer block penalty. That's going to give us a 3-4 pack here in favor of Dutchland. Some pretty solid defense by both of our teams here. Meany at the top of that pack, bracing that tripod against PR Nightmare. PR just trying to get through, fighting their way into that tripod. Both of our jammers being stalled by the other team's defense. And let's see what we've got for jammers. It looks like it is a Black Rose lead, just as PR Nightmare makes their way through the pack. It's a 4-point jam for PR Nightmare. Timeout here called by our officials. Join us here at Magic Elm just a few weeks from today, September 15th. That will be our home team games right here again, 6:30 p.m. After that, October 19th will be our Grime and Punishment, taking on our friends, the Rocktown Rollers from Harrisonburg, Virginia. Now, October 13th, the Black Rose Grime and Punishment. We'll be going to. I'm sorry, no, that is here. October 13th, playing our friends from Reading Roller Derby. Brings us to the end of that official timeout. Going into our next jam with 6.5 minutes left on the clock for our first period. This is Hot Pocket out there taking on Peroxide. And our penalty box is, okay, no, it's going to be a 3-4 pack in favor of Dutchland, with Meany taking a seat. Dutchland losing their jammer to a penalty, costing them the ability to get lead. Peroxide now on the chance of a power jam. Two whistles means we have a lead jammer declared. That is going to Peroxide. Peroxide out of the pack now, coming in on her first scoring trip. Dutchland currently down a blocker and a jammer. Peroxide making her way through with those 4 points. Hot Pocket coming out of the box from the earlier penalty on the jammer. Peroxide with another 4 points, making this an 8-point jam. One thing about this game, we have not been seeing any high-scoring jams. Our highest-scoring jam in the game thus far was only 8 points. A last-minute block by Dr. Tank McCoy, but Peroxide out, completing her third scoring pass. Now, up until now, we have not seen 2 scoring passes completed. We've been seeing a lot of what we call hit and quit jams, where it's just 4 points and a call off. But Peroxide with a third, now working on her 4th trip through. She's got 12 points. Sparky taking the Dutchland pivot right to the outside line. Black Rose reforming a tripod at the top of the pack against that pivot, held up by Meany. Meany pushing 2 of her own blockers out of the track too, and she goes out of bounds herself. Peroxide's got 4 points. That jam called off. A 16-point jam here in the hands of Black Rose. This official review brought to us by us. This is called by the Dutchland bench. The officials are currently discussing the basis of this review. Once there is a ruling, we'll bring you the details and move on. We have about 4.5 minutes left to our first half of the game. Our official review called by the Dutchland bench, talking about the track cut that was called on their jammer in the previous jam. That jammer was called off on a track cut. They were questioning whether or not the track cut had occurred, or what we should say is whether the basis of a track cut has been met, because if a skater goes out of bounds, the track cut, if the initiator goes out of bounds, the track cut does not meet the criteria for a penalty. Dutchland questioning whether or not the people who had been cut were out of bounds. When it was discussed, it was determined that there was a skater on the track who had been cut. So the call will stand. They will have lost that review. We're back to our game. This is Beauty and a Beast taking on number 28, Terror Swift. Starstruck coming in, trying to thin out that Dutchland defensive wall, trying to let Beauty and the Beast through, but Beast still stuck at the back of the pack. Beast taken out of bounds and forced to recycle. Nice defense there by Vanna Fight against Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast restarting this pass. Dutchland taking Terror Swift out of bounds. Looks like Terror Swift called off on a track cut. Starstruck had taken Terror Swift out of bounds to the inside and skated backwards. Terror Swift re-entered in front of Starstruck. That will buy them a track cut. This means that we have a power jam in the hands of Black Rose with Beauty and the Beast in full control. Now Beast coming on her first scoring trip through, meeting Vanna Fight on that inside line. Looks like Beauty and the Beast goes out of bounds and has to recycle. Beauty and the Beast still on this initial pass. She signals the call off just as Terror Swift comes back in from that earlier track cut. So 3 points there for Beast. Down new under 2 minutes now to our first half of the game. Coming back out the jam for the Dutchland Blitz. This is number 222, Bonsai. And for Black Rose, 970, Moxie Tosin. Moxie Tosin making her way to the top of the pack. She breaks out. She is our lead jammer. Back to some 5-on-5 derby action here. Both teams at full strength. Bonsai still fighting with Black Rose's defense at the top of the pack. Moxie Tosin is out, completing a 4-point pass for Black Rose. Starstruck taking down the Dustin Pivot, who then takes down poor Mofo Shizzle. Bonsai with a block on Moxie Tosin. Moxie Tosin is out with another 4 points now. Looking at an 8-point jam. And Moxie Tosin coming out, making a third scoring strip completed. We're seeing a lot of active blocking here by Starstruck against Fight Saber, who has received that star pass. Diablo bracing a tripod at the back of the pack against Fight Saber. Black Rose losing Toxic Sugar to a clockwise blocking penalty. Moxie Tosin still in there fighting against a Dutchland tripod at the top of the pack. There's 4 whistles. That ends the jam. And that appears to be 12-0 going to Black Rose. They're at 82, Dutchland 10, and we are in halftime. So during our halftime, both teams do have merchandise tables here, Dutchland and Black Rose. We have I believe we have some vendors at the entrance of the rink, so pay a visit to our merch tables and our vendors. We'll come back to you with more derby action in just under 15 minutes. All right, coming back into our second half of this game. Black Rose going in 85, Dutchland 10, and we are taking no time going back into this next jam. Nice block by Diablo on PR Nightmare. PR Nightmare taken out of bounds. PR Nightmare is out the jam for Dutchland. Out the jam for Black Rose. This is 408 Peroxide, and Peroxide is our lead jammer. It is a 5-on-5 jam. Both teams are at full strength. Here comes Peroxide. Peroxide taken out of bounds and forced to drop back and restart this pass. Working the top of the pack. That looks like that is Toxic Sugar and Sparky. And PR Nightmare making a lap around, but Peroxide calling off that jam before PR Nightmare can score any points. So that's going to be 4-0 here in favor of Black Rose. Our next jam brought to us by Mummer's Auto Sales and Service, 36 Main Street in nearby McSherrystown. Out to jam for Dutchland, number 000, White Wing Shove, taking on our very own Beauty and the Beast. And Killy Peppa and Starstruck working the back of that tripod against White Wing Shove. Beauty and the Beast taken out of bounds. Beauty and the Beast taking on that 3-wall of Dutchland blockers. Now Meanie coming in, breaking up that 3-wall for Beast, but that 3-wall reforms at the top of the pack. So both jammers being stuck behind defense right now. Kelly, Peppa, and Starstruck still working that defense against White Wing Shove. Beauty and the Beast taken out of bounds and brought all the way back, forced to recycle behind number 124. This is Min Diesel. And White Wing Shove taking Beast down. Beast gets back up, attacking that wall of Dutchland blockers once again. And we have a star pass now over to Tempe of Doom. So currently no lead jammer. Dutchland unable to pick up lead because of that star pass. Tempe of Doom was working up to the front of the pack, but is taken out and back by Starstruck. Beauty and the Beast does break out. Now she's got 2 whistles, so she's our lead jammer. And Beauty and the Beast now coming up on her first scoring trip. Meanie working some defense against Tempe of Doom in that tripod. Oh, Tempe of Doom getting past Starstruck. And it looks like that jam timed out at 2 minutes. Tempe of Doom unable to score, but Beast coming out with 3 points. So we're going to have number 970 Moxie Toastin out there taking on 23 Hot Pocket. Our penalty box is clear. It's in 5-on-5 jam. Windover catching that force from Hot Pocket. Sparky working that defense next to Windover. And Moxie Toastin coming out, and she's our lead jammer. One-on-one blocking there by Diablo on a Hot Pocket. Looks like Hot Pocket might have been taken on a bounce coming around the apex there. Moxie Toastin is out with the first 4 points of the jam. And Moxie coming in. She's in, gets out, scores 4 points. Now both jammers coming in on scoring passes. Windover working some 2-on-1 blocking there against Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket finds a hole on the inside with 4 more points. An 8-point jam so far for Dutchland. This is their highest scoring jam of the game. 3 more points rolling in there for Moxie Toast and making this an 11-8 jam in favor of Black Rose. That 8 points by Hot Pocket bringing Dutchland up to 18. Black Rose 103. PR Nightmare back out the jam here to take on 179. This is Tsunami. PR Nightmare making their way to the top of the pack. A 2-on-1 blocking against PR Nightmare by Meanie. And PR Nightmare not giving up the fight. PR Nightmare is our lead jammer. Now, we saw PR Nightmare pick up lead jammer in the very first jam of the game. Would pick up 4 points. So PR Nightmare not giving up. Well, PR Nightmare does call off the jam just as Tsunami comes up. So Tsunami scoreless and PR Nightmare with +2 for the Dutchland Blitz. Now, Dutchland putting on number 402, Dr. Tank McCoy to jam up against 408 Peroxide. And back-to-back leads for Dutchland. It's true what happened. Dr. Tank McCoy is our lead jammer. Dr. Tank McCoy powering their way past Diablo, gets those 4 points, calls off the jam. Adding 4 more points to the Dutchland side of the scoreboard. Black Rose scoreless, so 24 points here for Dutchland on the board. Black Rose still at 103. Next jam brought to us by Revival Home Solutions, LLC. Thank you for your sponsorship this season. Beauty and the Beast back out there for Black Rose taking on 222. This is Bonsai. It's a 5-on-5 pack. Talk about a second half comeback. 3 back-to-back leads for the Dutchland Blitz. Bonsai is in control. There's 4 whistles. That ends the jam. There's a star pass over to Killy Peppa, but Black Rose scoreless. Bonsai with a +4 for Dutchland. Bringing Dutchland now up to 28. The last 4 jams have worked out in Dutchland's favor. Now coming back out for the Blitz, 23, Hot Pocket out there taking on number 970, Moxie Tosin. Still 5-on-5 derby. Black Rose with their entire defense at the bottom of the pack against Hot Pocket. Moxie working at the top of the pack. Sparky and Snap Sabbath working that tripod along with Windover, bracing, and up at the top. Dutchland keeping a solid defense against Moxie Tosin. Now Diablo joining in on that blocking against Hot Pocket. So a very stagnant pack, neither jammer making a lot of headway through. Moxie Tosin still stuck behind Dutchland. Dutchland ramping up their defense in the second half of the game. What's this? 4 back-to-back leads. Now Hot Pocket is in control. That halftime working out to be in Dutchland's favor because they are picking up their offense in the second half of the game. Hot Pocket now working on their first scoring trip through the pack. Sparky bracing that tripod with that defense in the back of the pack. Moxie Tosin still stuck on this initial pass. There's 4 whistles. That jam is called off. 2-0 jam there in favor of the Blitz. So Dutchland going from 10 to 30 points here in just a couple minutes alone. Black Rose was scoreless, so they're still at 103. Dutchland now 30. Dr. Tank McCoy back out there. And for Black Rose, this is 179 Tsunami. Kelly Peppa guarding the outside line against Dr. Tank McCoy. Dr. Tank McCoy just kind of rolling side to side with that Black Rose defense. Dr. Tank McCoy taken back and recycled all the way back by Starstruck. Tsunami picking up lead for Black Rose now. There is a backlog penalty going to Black Rose's jammer, Tsunami. So the chance of a power, this is a power jam now in the hands of Dr. Tank McCoy. It's going to be a 2-minute jam. Meanie working, tracking Dr. Tank McCoy's every move through. Dr. Tank McCoy getting past Meanie, getting up some distance there into the pack. Starstruck, one of our recent graduates of our Black Rose Juniors, with some fantastic defense in this jam against Dr. Tank McCoy. Meanie, one of our veteran skaters for Black Rose, working that defense along with Toxic Sugar. Dr. Tank McCoy taken out. Tsunami back in from the earlier back block, but she has lost lead jammer, so we're going to go for the full 2 minutes. She does have 4 points. Dutchland with that star pass over to Fight Saber. Fight Saber taken out by Starstruck and brought all the way back, forced to restart this pass. There's 2 minutes have expired. Looks like 3 more points here rolling in by Tsunami, making this a 7-point jam. 7-0 in favor of the Black Rose Riveters. Dutchland calling for a team timeout. Once again, make sure you join us here September 15th. This will be our intra-league home teams game. That will be right here at Magic Elm, 6:30 p.m. October 13th, we will have our Grime and Punishment taking on our team, our friends, I should say, from Reading Roller Derby as October 13th here at Magic Elm. Then again, October 19th, a week later, we have a home team game here taking on our friends, the Rocktown Rollers, coming to us from Harrisonburg, Virginia. Okay, that rolling whistle brings us to the end of this timeout. This next jam will be brought to us by Conewago, helping organizations turn visions into reality. This is Peroxide out there, taking on number 28. This is Terror Swift. Diablo forcing Terror Swift to restart this pass. Now Black Rose reforming a tripod just as Terror re-enters the track. Peroxide has to contend with all 4 blockers at the front of the pack to get out for lead. No lead jammer as of yet. Diablo, another one of our recent graduates of our Black Rose Juniors, bracing that tripod against Terror Swift. And it looks like nice defense there by Min Diesel, bringing Peroxide all the way back, forcing her to recycle. So Volt Jammers now have to restart that pass. Peroxide has some headway, making her way to the top of the pack, but Dutchland has their entire defense up there. Terra Swift still fighting with that Black Rose tripod at the back of the pack. Windover and Diablo just keeping that tripod solid in place. No lead jammer yet out of this pack. All right, Peroxide does manage to break out, picking up lead for Black Rose. Now Peroxide in, getting some blocking by, this is Min Diesel, and Peroxide calls it off. Terra Swift does break out of the pack, but is unable to score in that jam. Now moving into the last quarter of our game, Dutchland 30, Black Rose 114. 3-4 pack here in favor of Black Rose. Beauty and the Beast out there taking on 222 Bonsai. And we are doing an old-fashioned pivot line start. Nice bean dip by Beauty and the Beast. Taking that duck right on the outside line, avoiding that block. And she is our lead jammer. Now Beast coming in on her first round of points, getting some defense on number 17. This is Chronic Youth working the back of that defense for Dutchland. Beauty and the Beast making her way out of the pack, scores all 4 points. She calls off the jam just as Bonsai making way around the pack. So it's going to be scoreless there for Dutchland. +4 for Black Rose. Each team going in this jam down 1 blocker. Next jam brought to us by Alana's Pet Sitting. It was Beast. She let the dogs out. Moxie Toastin out there taking on from Dutchland. This is number 14, Vanna Fight. Look at that toe stop work by Vanna Fight. Toe stopping her way right through the track, and she is lead for Dutchland. Now Vanna Fight coming in on a scoring pass. Vanna Fight chase out of the pack there by Snap Sabbath, and she's got 4 points for the Blitz. Now Vanna Fight winding up for a second scoring pass. Black Rose working some defense though. Moxie Toast out the jam for Black Rose. Vanna Fight out with another 4. So Dutchland looking at 4 and 8 points so far. And Vanna Fight on a third trip. Get some defense by Starstruck. That jam is called off. That's going to be scoreless for Black Rose and +3 for Dutchland. All said and done in that jam, 11-0 in favor of Dutchland by Vanna Fight. We are now in an official review called by the Black Rose bench. Each team gets one official review per half. If they happen to win that review, they get to use that again in that half of the game. Looks like there is a ruling. The official review called by Black Rose, questioning some contact that was made by the jammer for Dutchland in that last jam, whether or not that jammer had committed an illegal contact penalty by, I believe, being off the track. We're giving a thumbs down. I think that means that they have lost that review, so that action was unfounded. No penalty will be issued. We're going back to our game. Rolling whistle brings us to our next jam. This jam was brought to us by Just Peachy Clean. PR Nightmare back out there on the jam roll line here for Dutchland, and Tsunami jamming for Black Rose. Tsunami picking up lead for the Riveters. Tsunami in to score some points now. But Dutchland blitz holding their defense at the bottom of the pack. Our head referee, that is Dash, catch them calling some penalties here. Black Rose losing Tasha Sugar to the penalty box. Tsunami still stuck on the scoring pass. Dutchland walling up with their defense. Throwing a three wall, turning into a tripod against Tsunami. Nice blocking there by number 8, Violet Hayes, breaks that tripod at the top of the pack. Dutchland has been very successful this game in keeping these jams short. I haven't had a whole lot of runaway jams here by Black Rose. Now that 3-wall turning into a 4-wall. Dutchland with their entire defensive strength, working that defense against Tsunami. Toxic Sugar re-enters from that earlier penalty, so we're back to 5-on-5 derby. Dutchland losing a blocker to a clockwise blocking penalty. Tsunami still fighting on this scoring pass to come out with some points for Black Rose. Dutchland has 3 blockers ahead of Tsunami now. Claymore bracing that tripod, still working some defense. 2 minutes has expired. That jam is over. Looks like Tsunami, despite that defense, does have 4 points to show at the end of that jam. So it's going to be +4 for Black Rose. They're at 122. Dutchland 41. We're going to have number 000, White Wing Shove out there to take on Peroxide in this next jam. Black Rose, they're working the tripod at the back of the pack against White Wing Shove. Peroxide trying to get through at the top of the pack. Dutchland has their defense against Peroxide. 2-on-1 block in there, but Peroxide is out, and she's our lead jammer. And Peroxide calling off that jam halfway through that pass. That's going to be scoreless here for each team. Down to under about 9 minutes left to our game. Dutchland 41, Black Rose 122. Next game brought to us by Exquisite Med Spa. Beauty and the Beast back out there to take on 222. This is Bonsai. Beauty and the Beast stuck at the back of the pack behind Dutchland's defense. Nice defense there by number 8. That's Violet Hayes from Dutchland. And Bonsai is out. Bonsai, lead jammer for the blitz. Beauty and the Beast with that jammer start pass now over to Killy Peppa. And Bonsai calling off the jam, keeping that 3-0 in favor of the blitz. How many bucks clear? 5-on-5 derby. Here we have 28. Terror Swift out there versus 970. Moxitosin. Moxitosin breaks out. She's our lead jammer. Terror Swift still stuck in the back of the pack. Windover and Diablo working that defense against Terror Swift. Moxitosin's in for some points. Moxitosin is in, makes her way to the top of the pack. Dutchland still holding up their defense. Dutchland with a star pass over to Dr. Tank McCoy. And Dutchland is losing Dr. Tank McCoy to a penalty. So this is a power jam in the hands of Moxitosin. Moxie now completes her first scoring trip now, working on another scoring pass. Dutchland down a jammer in the box. Some last minute blocking there by Min Diesel, but Moxitosin is out with another 4 points. Dr. Tank McCoy coming back out of the box. Sparky trying to put a slowdown on Tank, but Dr. Tank McCoy is out with 4 points for the blitz. Moxitosin completes her scoring pass. Min Diesel trying to make some last minute blocking on Moxie. Moxie is out. And there's 2 minutes have expired. That jam is over. So that's going to be a +6 there for Dutchland and 12-point jam for Moxitosin. Tsunami back out there taking on number 98, PR Nightmare. PR Nightmare is taken out, forced to recycle now. Toxic Sugar and Meanie working that defense against PR Nightmare, but PR Nightmare is out. PR Nightmare is our lead jammer for Dutchland. And PR Nightmare making quick work of that pass. She is out with the first 4 points of the jam. PR Nightmare now on a roll for the blitz. Coming in on a second scoring trip. Rides that outside line, but is taken on a bounce by Starstruck. PR Nightmare calls off the action. Black Rose scoreless in that jam. We did see one scoring pass by PR Nightmare. Let's see what our referees are saying. All right, 2 more points rolling in for Dutchland, making that a 6-point jam by PR Nightmare. Dutchland 56, Black Rose 134. Hot Pocket back out there, number 23 from Dutchland, taking on Peroxide. Peroxide taking a bounce, forced to the back. Back-to-back leads here by Dutchland. Once again, Hot Pocket is in control. Black Rose walling up, absorbing that momentum by Hot Pocket as Hot Pocket comes in, ready to score some points. Black Rose has their entire defense held up by Diablo against Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket still struggling with that Black Rose defense at the back of the pack. All right, Peroxide is out completing her initial pass. Hot Pocket with 4 points, and Hot Pocket calls off the jam. So it looks like that's going to be a 4-0 there in favor of Dutchland. We're now under 2 minutes left to our game. Dutchland 60, and 50 of those points just picked up here in the second half of the game alone. Black Rose Riveters 134. So Bonsai back out there, take on number 411, Beauty and the Beast. Our penalty box is clear, so this will be some 5-on-5 derby. Bonsai taking on a bounce. Starstruck bringing Bonsai all the way to the back, forcing Bonsai to restart this pass. Beauty and the Beast trying to make her way through, trying to find the weak spot in that Dutchland wall. Beauty and the Beast taken down. Nice block by number 17, Chronic Youth. Beast back up on her skates, working against that Dutchland tripod, trying to take that right up the middle. Chronic Youth and Violet Hayes not letting Beast get through at all. Meanwhile, Starstruck and Meanie has proven to be a very solid blocking duo against Bonsai. Bonsai stuck in the back of the pack. Beauty and the Beast is out, and she's our lead jammer. Bonsai taken all the way back by Starstruck. Beauty and the Beast is out with 4 points. Beast now coming on her second scoring trip. Moves to the inside of that turn. It's taken out of bounds. Beauty and the Beast coming out of the pack with another 4 points. 4 points held by our jammer referee, Mofo Shizzle. And Beast breaks out. Another third scoring pass completed. 4 more points, making this a 12-0 jam with a tentative, unofficial score. Dutchland 60, Black Rose 146. Once our officials blow the whistle, we will have a final score. We'll move into our victory laps here and our MVPs. All right, the referees and officials have spoken. We have a score. Dutchland Blitz 60. Black Rose taking the win today, 146. Now taking their victory lap around the track. Here comes our team in black. This is our home team, the Black Rose Riveters. All right, coming out, we got Starstruck taking a lap around the track. Here comes Killy, Peppa, Moxie, Toshin, Diablo, Sparky, Peroxide. Behind Peroxide is Beauty and a Beast. Tsunami, Windover. There's too fast for them to remember. Here comes our visiting team from Lancaster. This is your Dutchland Blitz. Give both these teams a round of applause. Very hard-fought derby by both sides today.